It's important for Biolite to be part of Power Africa because the U.S. government has unique convening power to help Biolite and other companies address some of the regulatory obstacles across the continent that we face to accelerating clean energy access. The ambassadors are able to work with governments and presidents to push for the removal of taxes and tariffs to help us accelerate the uptake of our product. In addition, Power Africa, through the off-grid program, has helped to support pilots for new technologies like the base charge product line that we have here in Liberia to help us validate the feature set and business model in market to help us scale these new product categories. Biolite's technologies are unique because we have a wide suite of cooking, charging, and lighting products that address comprehensively the off-grid energy needs of families across the continent. Our cook stoves in particular are unique because they're the only stoves in Africa that can use unprocessed fuels like wood, convert the heat from the fire inside those stoves to usable electricity, use that electricity to force oxygen onto the fire to eliminate most of the smoke, and generate surplus power out of the side through a USB port to provide lighting and charging alongside clean cooking. Our solar home systems are now the most widely sold solar home systems across the continent through specialized distribution and financing businesses. And our solar power generators are unique because we're one of the only US companies that have developed and commercialized these power generators for sale at scale across sub-Saharan Africa. Biolite's focused on the African market because the majority of households here are still cooking their meals on smoky open fires, and hundreds of millions of people here have intermittent or no access to electricity on the continent. And Biolite feels a unique opportunity as well as an ability to help address these basic household energy needs. The biggest impact that clean tech in the US and Europe has on businesses like Biolite that are developing clean energy products for low-income households is that it's helping to drive down the cost curve for the underlying technologies. The investments in electric mobility, for instance, have helped to reduce the cost of batteries. The increased infrastructural investment in technology around solar panels is again helping to drive down the cost of panels in these very different use cases in terms of low-income rural households that Biolite and others work with. So as more and more investment goes into these core underlying technologies and batteries and panels, for instance, Biolite in turn is able to reduce the manufacturing costs of our product and to accelerate uptake across sub-Saharan Africa. Africa's just energy transition needs to be focused on low-income rural households who are off-grid and cooking on smoky open fires. It is unjust if this energy transition leaves this part of the continent behind. On this 10-year anniversary of Power Africa, I think we have a ton to be proud of. We've widened the number of connections and energy access across the continent in the hundreds of millions. However, there still continues to be a massive unmet need for electrification, clean cooking, and other forms of basic clean energy access across this continent. And I really hope that Power Africa and the US government double down on their commitment to helping to address this basic energy challenge. Over the coming decade, we would love to see Power Africa augment its investment in productive use technologies. Much of the focus has been on delivering connections, and most of those connections are household connections. But for Africans to increase their incomes and have greater livelihood opportunities, they also need to have reliable electricity access for businesses such as barbershops, restaurants, offices, because if these small businesses have access to reliable electricity, we can increase incomes, improve livelihoods, drive productivity, and improve economic growth at the country level and beyond.